I think in the way the entire financial system works, the need for an asset that's easy, that's, reliable, that everybody trusts, that everybody can move, that's a hedge against inflation is huge. Gold, $7.5 trillion worth of gold out there. And I think you could say, okay, half that's for jewelry, half that's just for show. Only half that is actually as a store of value inflation hedge. I mean, that's still multi-trillion-dollar market for the store of value inflation. I think Bitcoin is easier to move than gold. It's easier to cut up than gold. You can actually own it yourself instead of relying on a third party, holding it in a vault. It's just built for the internet era, which is what we're living in case you hadn't noticed. And so I think just based on being this inflation hedge digital gold, we could see Bitcoin hit a several $trillion network value. Right now, the network value, because there's only 21 million Bitcoins that will ever be minted, there's about 18.5 million outstanding right now. We're looking at a network value about 122 billion as I'm recording this episode, with the price at about 6,700 per Bitcoin. So when I'm talking about just becoming an inflation, when I'm talking about just replacing gold in this one use case, we could see a 10, 20, 30x move in Bitcoin if it actually gets there and fulfills that destiny. So, when I think at a high level about Bitcoin, it's this way that we can store value over time. I think that's a very important piece of technology in our society. The US dollar, tens of trillions of dollars floating around with, and their whole product is storing value over time. Like I said, gold, a couple $1 trillion storing value over time. Real estate, another asset class that stores value over time, tens of trillions of dollars. And I think an algorithm that is mathematically driven, that's decentralized, that's built for the internet, essentially a cryptocurrency, is this new technology to store value over time that I think people are having a hard time wrapping their heads around. But I think it's a whole new category, whole new way to store value. I think of this super barbarically, like we're just monkeys. There's all these technologies that we can leverage to store our value with that we've worked so hard to accrue. And I think, in that huge pie of things that we can use to store value, equities, real estate, cash, bonds, gold, I think cryptocurrencies are an interesting new sliver and an interesting new technology that frankly, I think will take a pretty big market share. And we're talking about a pie that's potentially $100 trillion fiat dollars large and getting bigger and bigger. And so I think Bitcoin, you're still, even though it looks like a $120 billion company, I think you could still get venture style returns by investing today if some of these crazy theses work out.